Welcome back to another lightsaber build video. Today, we're going to be installing the KR Saber's flagship hilt, custom etched by the Vaults of Valhalla. But not only will I be installing a really unique hilt, I was also tasked with making the Neopixel blade. This will be the first time I've actually built a blade on camera, so I'm really excited to show you guys just how simple and easy it can be. Before we get started, make sure you like and subscribe if you want to see any more really unique lightsaber builds, and if you're interested in commissioning a lightsaber build from me, feel free to message me on Instagram or my website, avcastillo.com. Links in the description. Now, let's get right to it. So normally when I install lightsabers for people, I just get sent the hilts. But this time, it turns out that I was also sent the parts to make the blade too. The problem is, I haven't actually built a blade for a long time now. Hopefully I still remember how to do it. Anyways, here's the hilt we'll be bringing to life. This is a KR Saber's flagship hilt, with a whole lot of custom etchings done by the Vaults of Valhalla. From what it looks like, it's a crossover between Harry Potter and Star Wars, particularly Slytherin in Star Wars. This is the first time I've ever seen the Vaults of Valhalla's work in person, and I have to say it looks incredible. We'll take another look at the etchings in a bit, but let's quickly take a look at what else we have to work with. These will be the parts for the blade. Here's the chassis and battery. And this is everything else. Now let's take another look at these etchings. As I said before, this was done by the Vaults of Valhalla, and it's a crossover between Star Wars and Slytherin from Harry Potter. But actually, I think it's a Snape theme. These are his Patronus at the bottom. And at the top, you have the Deathly Hallows and the Dark Mark. All of this beautifully mixed with Star Wars. How cool is that? If you guys see anything else I'm missing, let me know in the comments. But now, let's get started with the install. The first thing I'm setting up is the Neopixel connector. Once the wires are done, I like to twist them together. It just makes things easier. Next, it goes in this holder. But before it can fit, we have to sand down these little frill things on the side of it. And there we go. Now it's in the holder, and it has a lens. Now we're moving on to the speaker. For this build, we'll be using the 28mm speaker made by KR Sabers. I think this one and the Smuggler's Outpost speaker are my favorites. After the wires comes the heat shrink. It would go in the chassis next, but it doesn't fit. So now I have to do a lot of sanding off camera. For now, let's move on to the positive battery tab. And then the kill switch. The negative battery tab. And then the main button. I'm going to be doing some weird things with wiring this button, so if you're interested, just go over this part again and slow it down or something. But now that that's done, it's time to work on the auxiliary switch. As you can see, the hole in the hilt isn't big enough for the button to fit, so what we're going to have to do is open it up a bit more with this tap. And now it fits perfectly. I may have to cut down the button a bit later though, since it's sticking out a ton. But let's get this thing wired up. Let's start putting things together now, starting with the Neopixel connector setup we did earlier. It's going to sit right about here, and the wires will go down to the chassis below. This set screw is what'll hold the Neopixel in place. Gotta make sure it's nice and tight. And here's where the button will sit. The last piece of the puzzle is the soundboard. This lightsaber hilt is now fully installed. Let's turn it on and make sure it actually works. all that's left is the blade. So the last time I made a Neopixel blade was like 4 years ago, so I had to refresh my memory a bit. But this is pretty much how it goes. First, you measure out the length you want to cut the tube to. That's the length of the pixel strip plus a bit of the connector holder. Then, you cut the tube. Preferably not with this kind of cutter, but it'll do the job. You just have to spend more time sanding the cut end to get everything to fit. Next is the diffusion film and foam. These get cut a little shorter than the tube, to allow space for the connector holder. After that, we just slide in the pixel strip. It's important to go slowly, and to try to only do this once. I remember from the last blade I made, if you do it more than once, the foam will start to get eaten away and won't hold the strip as snugly. You'll end up with a wobble inside the blade, and that's just no good. The next thing I did was glue on the tip. It's probably best to save it for later though. I don't know why I did it now. But next up are the wires. During this, I tried not to overheat the strip. I was worried that if the entire strip got too warm, the foam would loosen up or something. I really hate wobbly blades. But now we just attach the blade side connector and glue it all together. Now we have a fully completed Neopixel lightsaber blade. Let's put it in our newly completed hilt and see how it looks.
Purple. Red. Yellow. White.
This is the weapon of a Jedi. Yes. A Jedi weapon. Take your weapon. Right. Before I knock.
Apology accepted.
Now that the blade is done, I want to show off something I've never done before. I was asked to load this thing with a ton of Snape quotes, and I really went to town, so sit back, relax, and enjoy the soothing sound of Alan Rickman.
Loss of limb will not excuse you. Don't lie to me. Clearly, fame isn't everything. Go on. No one. Read it. Turn to page 394. Reveal your secrets. It appears there is a connection between the Dark Lord's mind and your own. Whether he is as yet aware of this connection is for the moment unclear. Pray he remains ignorant. Are you incapable of restraining yourself, or do you take pride in being an insufferable know-it-all? If we are to truly discover the meaning of these events, perhaps we should, for the time being, let them unfold. Well, Lupin, out for a little walk in the moonlight. In these lessons, I will attempt to penetrate your mind. You will attempt to resist. Prepare yourself. Then I suggest you take extra care, Mr. Potter. Used properly, the power of our clemency will help shield you from access or influence. There will be no foolish wand-waving or silly incantations in this class. Loss of limb will not excuse you.
Now for the final thing I did. I changed the flash on clash from white to green, except for green blades, those got yellow.
Blue. Red.
And there you have it, a fully complete Snape and Star Wars themed custom lightsaber. I think this might just be one of the most custom projects I've ever worked on. At the very least, I got to do a ton of stuff I don't usually do. From building the blade, setting up those Snape quotes, adjusting the flash effects to be green to match the theme, I got to do a bunch of cool new things. Thank you all so much for watching me bring to life this super cool Snape and Star Wars themed lightsaber. I hope you enjoyed this project, and if you're interested in commissioning a lightsaber build from me, feel free to message me on Instagram or my website, averycastillo.com, links in the description. So thanks again for watching, and I'll see you all in the next video.